Hey guys, it's Alfred. I'm back with another video. Let's just hop into some 25 and now. I currently been playing for an hour and like we're break even right now, so let's just get into it. Hopefully I don't jumble all my words up in anything. Starting off with a 3-bet on boards 3 and 4. I know it's going to be a bit fast paced since we are playing 4 Zoom tables. So might not be able to go too in depth with the explanations and all. Interesting, we get a small blind cold caller. This is generally just like a bunch of pocket pairs. That's what the range looks like. So I'm gonna start betting here. Like if we want to get him to fold tens on by the river, we have to start betting the flop. And when he snap calls, he probably has something like nines, tens a lot, even jacks, and occasionally ace king. But since we blocked that, I'm just gonna be betting. Gonna complete versus a min raise here. And on the river, if diamonds miss, I'm mostly just going to be blasting this one off. Just because we need to be able to fold out his small pocket pairs. There's a chance he has eights, and that's pretty much all I'm worried about. He has like jacks here, tens here, etc. that I'm not going to win against. And he just brings to 5-4, so that's quite unfortunate. Doesn't look like we're even anymore. But nonetheless, I think the play's fine. To be turning, like, it's not ideal to be turning ace queen there into a bluff since we do have like showdown value. But like I said, it's just we're just losing to too many of these pairs. At least we know he's a station pre-flop for future reference. Hopefully this 3-bet hand goes a bit better. Gonna be going for a 3rd bet here just as a standard sizing. Sure, you can argue that like he has some 8x, but so do I. So it's like this board is much better for us. If we were in early position, it'd be a different story. So interesting what's going to happen here. We have a short stack call and a cutoff and a small blind squeeze. So he's queen 5 and versus ace king. And ace king binks it on the turn. That's nice. We even folded an ace. And of course, we're going to have to ISO on board 1. Going to go to 5 big blinds since we are a bit deeper. And pretty bad flop. Like, he'll be check calling like 6s, 8s. So just going to start off with a check. We do turn a double gutter. But at the same time, the backdoor flush draw comes in. I think our hand still likes to check. And on the river, we do have showdown value, so easy check. Nice to get aces here. And he does have king 10, which he doesn't bet. And on board 4, I just checked. I rolled a check, so I'm going to check it. And against an ISO on board 2, just going to go for a small C bet. And now I'm going to start betting for value on board 2. Pretty dicey turn on board 2. Still think we have like a lot of strong hands here. And yeah, now we're beating hands like king, queen, queen, jack, but I expect all of us to bet the turn. So I'm just going to be betting big and hope he has something. Board 1 is a bit of a weird case since he did open 3.5x pre, then he's going to min click my C bet. I'm debating whether to 3-bet here because the turn goes check check a lot, but we're blocking a lot of the flush draws here, you know? Like, we have the heart and the diamond, so I'm just not really sure what he can be clicking here. We block a lot of the queen X, etc. I think I'm just going to click it back and go from there. And I'm going to be calling him board 4. And he snap shifts it. He could have queens. Instead, he just has this complete airball, which is probably the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And we can go for like a very thin value bet on board 2. But, I mean, not board 2, board 4. But I expect him to have like 7s, 8s here, full frequency. He has ace king that he didn't 3-bet. Interesting. This was a pretty weird hand here, man. Because, like, it just doesn't make sense, you know? Like, what he was clicking me back with. Either way. Either way, I'm going to take that gift there. Jack 9 suited is actually going to be part of my 4 betting range. And with no like backdoor backup or anything, we're just going to be checking this one. Pretty good turn for us considering we have ace king full frequency, but I think that bets a lot on this flop. Going to be calling the 5-6 suited here, especially since the 3-bet range is against a somewhat reg. And yeah, going to be folding the 8s to that big 3-bet. Going to be calling the 5s here. And that's a pretty decent turn here, considering that could slow him down if he has aces and like kings or something, because I have like a lot of Jack X in the calling range. And interesting how this person is going to be going for a big bet here. Either way, we can't really fold 5-6 here with the backdoor flush draw. I'm going to be 4-betting the ace king, of course. I'm going to be folding the 9s here. Like, it's just pretty dicey now on that turn. I meant, like, he's very strong on that turn once he's betting that big. Interesting big sizing here. This is just going to be a small c-bet. Going to tank a bit here. 5-6 suited here once it checks through. I'm just thinking I'm just going to check back. A pretty bad turn because ace king gets there. And I think he just bluffs everything, like bluffs range here. I'm just wondering on board 2 if we're ever pot controlling here and just checking. But I'd imagine we're just going for mostly third pot bets here. Gonna fold. I'd imagine we're just going for like a lot of 1/3 betting on this turn. That's my initial thought. I'm just considering how deep we are as well. What my strategy will look like. And I think I'm just going to go with the third pot bet here. Kings again is pretty nice. Although this is like a good card for like our exact hand, I just don't think we have, we can just have anything credible here because it just hits the big blind so hard. And that sucks. This river is kind of like gonna value bet on board 4. And luckily he just checks back and mucks it. That was, I need to like review what to do in this spot. But either way, he played it fine, I'm pretty sure, with his exact hand. Okay. Gonna complete here, and against a, I think we're just gonna fold the 7-8 suited. against that player. He's kind of an unknown, and generally, like, when you don't have much reads on people, they're kind of strong. Interesting bet on this turn. Like, he's pretty much uncapped. He can have anything here. I'm just gonna call because there's 2 flush draws here. And pretty standard check with the jacks. Not check, 3-bet. Sorry, got a message there. Okay. Fold here. Gonna start off with a small c-bet on board 2. Now this guy goes for a lead. And this guy snap calls on board 2. That could indicate that he has like some middling strength hand. Once we turn this much equity, I'm just going to start betting big. Considering raising on this flop. And I think he has a 9 here, to be honest. And I think I'm going to be pot controlling on board. I think I'm just going to be blocking this turn, actually. Still getting value from like 8s and 9s and 10s. Yeah, I think we're going to be bombing. I think I have to bluff this right here. And he just snap calls me with a king. A lead here would be so disgusting. So just going to make that in my notes. And going to check this one back. And he has pocket 5s. So maybe raising on a flop was good. It's actually not a bad play to lead here on this specific board, so I don't mind it. Against this guy who's short, just going to be betting small, exploitatively, trying to take it down right away. Sorry, my other message. And against the turn with equity, I'm just going to be like betting here. Once again, we're in this position where like this guy's short again. But I think we just bet a third. His range is just probably so wide here. He's calling like 30% pre. Very low frequency 4 betting on board 2. I think we do some calling here with like the backdoor, straight backdoor diamonds and overcard. And of course, we're going to do a small block bet on the river. Three betting on board 1. I'm going to be folding on board 4. No point in calling that 4s there. I've been doing like a casino trip every weekend. Man, like, the games are pretty good on the weekend. So probably going to try and make more real life videos. Gonna go for a small bet on board 2. And I'm gonna be bluffing this one here. We just have way too many strong hands on this board, so this is just pretty much a range bet. Gonna be calling on board 3. And of course we're gonna be sizing up on board 2. And here I'm just going to be going for a block sizing on the turn. And we arrive on the river with 3 high. So I think I just bet like this and try to get him to fold anything that beats us. On that river, he can just donk jam this if he has a flush. I'm not gonna go for like anything weird. But yeah, if I were him, I'd probably donk like donk pot or something. Especially, most people will just level themselves into a call. A bit of a loose open here for these stakes, but I'm just looking at who's in a big blind. For check, interesting, just call here. We will see a lot of jams from the cutoff. I think we flip against like, you know, queens a lot. He also has ace king a lot, you know. But I really don't see him doing this with something like aces. That's why I'm just going to go in. It's most likely ace king. He's going to cash out. And we get to chop. So we split this guy 6 big blinds. Going to be calling on this turn. People are more inclined to bet their flush draws in the pool. So I don't think he's ever repping like a flush here. I think he's saying the board's scary. You check twice, so I think you're gonna fold. And he does have queen jack here, so. Once he limps, that's a confirmed wreck. I'm already suspect because he called a queen jack off pre. And this must be strong. Sorry, I just realized it's cut off here. And against this 4-bet, this has to be aces or kings, man. Especially with the speed. Basically beat us into the pot. I think I'm gonna let the video go for like 20 minutes and just call it a session after that. We did play around 1,200 hands or 1,100. Pretty nice board for our hand. Like we can just we can see bet this not all the time, but with this hand class, the gut shot, 2 overcards, backdoor flush draw. I think it makes a pretty nice bet. Standard 3-bet on board 3 and gonna be calling on board 4. Gonna be squeezing on board 1. We turn top pair, but the flush draw gets here and there's so many draws now. Blind versus blind, I think I'm just gonna go for a big c-bet here. The thing is, he could have been betting a 6 on the flop. Like, we're basically just bluff catching here. He's saying he has a 6. That's what he's saying, you know, because I think an 8 will still bet the turn. I think that, like, all flushes will almost always bet this turn. That's basically, he's saying 6 or nothing. I'm just trying to think of bluffs as well, you know? Like, what will he turn into a bluff? I think we can just fold here. Unfortunate turn on board 1. Definitely want to start pot controlling now. We can even go for like a half pot bet here. He will have floats like ace 10. not floats, like he'll have hands like ace 10. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the half pot bet and check back most rivers. Because he'll also have like queens, jacks here that we can still get value from if he decides to call. And if he decides to check raise us, like we can just fold, and it's better than having to call a river bet when he leads the river. And now we have pocket aces. And we have no action. Aces again. Looks like we're running pretty hot. Misclicked here, but I'm going to be raising pretty big here just because of how deep we are. And kings, what is going on? I'd call here, like considering the bet's pretty small, but he is short stack. And we're going to continue with a third pot bet here. Same thing on board one. We can just simplify this to a third or something like this. And I think I'm going to be going for stacks on board three. Like hands against like king, queen, ace, queen, queen, jack. And of course we get stacked by sevens and sixes, but like, it's whatever. Mostly going to be checking here. Like we do have like the overpair advantage here, but like that's where our advantage on this board comes. You can also make an argument that he'll have all the strong deuces here. Like he has a lot more deuce X here. I think I'm going to try and just realize some. Take a free card with the king jack. But can definitely like mix this hand like into betting. Once again, this board's just hitting the big blind harder and harder. And I don't think he's folding like ace high. So we just got to check it down. Has king, queen. Considering we're deep again, gonna go for this 3-bet. And we're actually checking range here. We mostly check range here, early position versus button. Now it's a weird dynamic with this guy with middle position calling. Either way, I think we're just gonna be checking and expect middle position to be betting a lot, as you can see here. So we're just gonna be playing check calls. No point in raising, we lock up the board so much and we're stacking like sixes anyways. Once he's betting here, I kind of just want to be protecting my hand a lot and go for this check raise. 7-8 gets there, but what can he do? Kind of the worst river, but we have a diamond, which is somewhat comforting. And yeah, we just jam here. There's not really any thought to this. Dodge the snap, so he doesn't have a flush. Could have something like 6x. Some weird set. Could be slow rolling me as well. That's why, like, you know, I never get comfortable even though, like, get to fold. All right, I think I'm going to start wrapping it up. Played around 500 hands. Bottom set here is mostly going to be check raises, if not always. Damn, I just studied this spot like the other day, you know, like, I just studied this spot the other day where like, you check raise a set and then the turn the flush draw comes in. And I can't even remember my sizing right now. What was it? let's just think of how to play this hand. I think we just go for a third. I think, yeah, I think the sizing is just a third. And he folds, okay. Gonna be folding. Easy 3-bet. And let's see the graph. Yep, so we did pretty well today. We're up a buy-in and a bit. So pretty much just a heater in that session, as you guys witnessed with the aces and everything. So thanks so much for watching. Have a good one.